Hey everybody, Nick back here with yet another video, and today is September 7th, 2024, back in this calming park that I like. The only real negative about this park, I would say, is there's cars constantly going by, but it's not a real big deal. What I do like about it is that there's no people going by, which is good to do videos and just or sit here and relax. Do you ever wonder how the world got to the point that it is at right now today, the state of the world over the centuries, how it didn't basically blow itself up, which I'm sure there has been many times that it came close. There was that one Russian guy who apparently saved humanity or whatever because he double-checked to make sure that there was actually no nuclear attack imminent. I don't remember which year it was, but I'll put the name of the guy and the year that this happened. But that was one incident that I could think of in the 20th century. But yeah, it's funny to me how humanity was able to get to where we're at, without. I mean, there's been a lot of killing, obviously, and death and destruction, and it's just human history is laced with disgusting acts of violence, and as you guys know. But the main thing is, I always wonder why a lot of humans think that they're going to reach enlightenment. Now, the definition of enlightenment that I checked out was state of having knowledge or understanding. Okay? And sure, knowledge is something that is definitely important in advancing any civilization, any race, probably in anywhere in the universe. I do believe personally there are other civilizations in the universe. Mathematically speaking, I think it's just ridiculous how people think otherwise, plus all the evidence that's coming around that we've have over the last 70 years or so. And yeah, so this enlightenment, I think there's different levels of it and different definitions. Like, they call the age of enlightenment the time of what's his name, Da Vinci, and all these other inventors or philosophers that were in, I think it was the 17th century, if I'm not mistaken. And that was an age of enlightenment. But the enlightenment that I think of is the state of being one with nature, with yourself, with the world. Almost a state of perfection. I don't think human beings were created, whoever created us or whatever created us, I don't think we were built to be perfect. I think that's just an inherent flaw in the human race. To be perfect is just absolutely impossible. Now, enlightenment, you can probably, from my estimation or my belief, is that you can get near to perfection. But I think, let me just finish that one thought. But I think that it's very difficult to get to that point. At least speaking for myself. And I'll get into why. Now, I'd love to be more enlightened. I try my hardest. I really try to separate myself from the daily horrors of humanity, just trying to be the best person I can. Now, that may not be enlightenment to some people, but I think enlightenment can be being one with yourself, one with nature, understanding the laws of nature, respecting nature, just being away from the chaos and having inner peace, which I think is very difficult because of the way the world is, the way the world is headed. I just hear some noise up in the trees. I think it's the squirrels playing. So to me, I think it's just very, very difficult. You'd have to literally be away from Wow, no cars passing by. Now it's silent. You have to be away from all the chaos, and it's just hard to do that this day and age. You know, with the system in place, the money system, it's just pure craziness out there. You know, in this world, and it continually gets crazier and crazier. Like I don't know. For me, it's hard to break the patterns of old. Stop thinking about money, but then you can't because you're stuck in the system, and if you don't have money, you're gonna end up, homeless. But then I think of myself, well, if you became homeless, you'd be away from people. But then it's just really complicated. The Buddhist monks, I think, have the best situation because they can just basically go to the temple and they have their own refuge away from Western culture and the rat race, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. And I just think it's going to be very hard to get enlightenment in given the circumstances. Should you want to get enlightenment? I mean, a lot of people don't even give a damn about it, and that's their choice, as a being on this earth. But I really tried to, I wanted to get to that point, but I just find it, with everything that goes on, I find myself getting more upset with things, and every little thing just bothers me. I try to let things go. I do let the small things go. I've learned to just, because it's just going to get to you and you're going to be stressed. It's not a good feeling, not a good place to be. But people annoy you, just weird people. And I'm not saying everybody's weird. When you walk the streets, you can see just the little idiosyncrasies of certain people, that there's just something not right there. But I think it's going to be impossible for me to get enlightenment. I spoke to one of my friends the other day, and they kept pointing out every time that I would, get not triggered, because I don't really get triggered, but I just sort of get irked, I guess. And they were like, see, you have to just let that go if you want to get on the path. And it's just, I don't know if I can. I don't know. I don't like injustice. I am a genuinely good person. Whether you guys believe me or not, I don't care. But I know in my heart I am. And I just hate seeing injustice, and I hate seeing all the problems that is ruining humanity, and how crappy the world is getting. This tapestry of the earth, how we're basically destroying the landscapes, and it's just constant noise, chaos, distraction. And with all that, it's very hard to get on the road to enlightenment. Even if I wanted to get to, because there's stages of enlightenment, right? It's not one destination, at least that from what I was reading. It's, different stages of enlightenment, and I can't even get past the first few. I mean, I've got knowledge. I'm aware of what's going on in the world. I'm not blind to the craziness that's going on. So I'm at that stage. I don't know where that basically lies on the road to enlightenment. But I do use the practices, and I find them useful, like meditation. I forget what they call, but those bowls the metal bowls that are so relaxing when you hear the certain vibrations, and when you're meditating. And it really, really helps to calm the brain, calms your mind. I hope it doesn't rain. It's kind of chilly today. Warm weather's pretty much gone. So enlightenment to me is something that I've been striving for, but it's just very, very difficult in where I live and the situation of the world. I'm constantly looking for knowledge. I want to be aware of what's going on. And maybe that's part of the problem too, is that always wanting to be connected with the harsh realities of this world. But I can't help it. That's what allows me to get these videos out as well, is to talk about topics, and that's why I think enlightenment is not going to be fully attainable for me, which is okay. You know, I do my best. I want to talk about more topics. But what do you guys think of enlightenment? Do you think that it's attainable in this world, or at the very least in this realm, or in this this Western civilization? I don't know. I think you'd need to go somewhere remote, just like the Buddhist monks, and you have to be away from stuff, because I just think that it would be extremely hard to try to find enlightenment. I'm sure it's not impossible, but it would make things extremely difficult, especially with your old ways. You know, to keep reverting back to your old ways. That's how we were programmed, you know, as kids. We were raised in this culture, and I'm not trying to say the culture is terrible. I think it's become poisoned and corrupted. That's why all these problems, plus the system, which I've talked about in other videos, the system that they've put in place. And not necessarily capitalism, because capitalism is just a extension of the system. And which doesn't allow people to get enlightenment, not even on the first few levels, you know, where they want to get knowledge and to be aware of what's going on. So that's my take on enlightenment. What do you guys think about it? Do you think it's possible? It's a very interesting topic, that's for sure. I would once love to go to, you know, Tibet or wherever they have these so-called enlightened guys. I don't know, like, they must have had to start off being enlightened from birth or from childhood, because the brain can be programmed, and I'm wondering how that would happen. Maybe it's easier for them if they're born into that culture and just trying to find peace and tranquility in a very noisy, crazy world. They probably don't even get affected by all this stuff, most likely. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Just wanted to get this one out, talk about enlightenment. Even if you don't want to obtain enlightenment, you can at least obtain trying to better yourself. I think that might be one of the stages of enlightenment, is just to be a better person, treat people the way you'd want to be treated, and maybe that would be good enough. Maybe that is a good life to follow, for sure. So thanks for watching, guys. Like the video if you got anything out of it, and we'll see you in the next video very soon. Take care. Bye for now.